What's up, guys? It's Nick here with Ghost Bros Gaming. I'm here with Andrew, who went undefeated at our locals with Bystial Dragon Link, who's going to give us a deck profile. But before we do, make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps the channel.
Let's get it.
First.
Bros Gaming.
All right, so we got 40 in the main deck. For the Bystial engine, we're running 3 Lebellion, 3 of the Mag, 2 Saronir, and 1 each of the Baldrake and the Druisworm. Lebellion's great. You want to see it in hand. Really gets the engine going. Usually going to search the Mag off of it to get that search in the end phase. It just keeps the deck rolling. These two are pretty key for getting up, going into your opponent's turn. Having Baldrake just puts a lot of pressure on them. It kind of forces them to really think about that extra deck summon. And typically you're going to have probably just a Tracer or something on board to tribute off with it. It really makes them work around it. Saronir at 2, currently it's decent in this deck. I might bring it down to 1. Might throw it off of Ravine to probably drop a Lebellion and Grave. But also not too bad to see in the hand. You can kind of get it on board, get a link play off of it, and still get that search. Yeah, these have been feeling pretty good at this level. For the spells, 1 each, Branded Regain and Branded Beast. Regain's probably my favorite card in this deck. It's such a good just engine piece of gaining card advantage. The pop out of the graveyard for one of your Bystials, as well as the draw. Anytime Dark or Light is banished, you can shuffle it back. It just really feels good to have that on board. Transitioning out of this, the Chaos engine we have. I'm going to leave Rebellion on board because it kind of fits with this on as well. You can search it off Chaos space, which we'll do in some cases if we already have our little boys here in hand. Those two, obviously just great engine pieces to keep those links going. And then the 2 big Chaos monsters of the Leveneer and the Dragon of Armageddon. Leveneer, great for just the destruction piece on your second or third turn, as well as if you draw it first. It's not too bad. Usually by the time you get a couple links on board, you'll have those 3 darks in grave for that hand rip on turn 1 is pretty nice. And then Dragon of Armageddon, very nice card to kind of just get some cards back out of the Banish Zone, so you can kind of pick out the ones you want, and you can also just throw it on board as a 3000 beater, link material, whatever. Never sad to see this card in the hand. Out of this, leave those on board because they kind of go into the next one as well. The Safer running at 3, it's definitely the best normal summon in the deck. Normal summon this guy, usually grab one of the smalls and it gets your link plays going, as well as 2 Nocto and 1 Abso. The other good tribute off of Starly Safer, usually you would do itself to grab one of the level 4s. You can also, if you have Abso in hand, tribute the Abso and get the Nocto. The Abso tribute goes to grave, gets you that search for a rocket, and then Nocto is just a great card in this deck. A lot of people aren't familiar with it. If you link it off into a monster, you get a draw. As well as if you special summon a dark monster or a dark dragon, it special summons from your hand. So it's super easy to get out. You're going to link it off, you're going to get that free draw, and it just feels good. Coming out of those, so kind of dragging into the Rocket engine, so 2 Tracer, 1 Recharger, 1 Synchron. This is pretty standard. I see some people play different cards in the Synchron. I like the Synchron personally. It comes up where sometimes I might search it off of the Abso if I already have a Tracer. And you can get that normal summon and another body out of the graveyard. It just gives you more things for link material. Keeps you going. Otherwise, it's just a quick and easy one you can have if you want to just link it off. And then, of course, running from 3 spells, 3 quick launch. Just helps extend and unbreak your hand in some situations. It's kind of an insane card. It's a great go card. That's it for the Rockets. And then we're coming into 2 bricks. Well, Ravine's not too much of a brick. Ravine's not too bad to see in hand. It's a great search card. And then the boot, you just kind of need it. It's unfortunate to see in the hand, but it's not the worst. You can still keep on playing. It's fun to kind of, if you already have it, to still go into the striker. A lot of times people imperm it there, and that's just a wasted imperm, so you don't realize you already have it. That's kind of the core engine, so leaves us with like 6 extra spots for flex cards. I'm currently purely teched out for Kashtira with 3 Eclipse, 3 Nib. Unfortunately, the Kashtira matchup, if you don't have a board breaking card, you're dead. So running these 3 just so you can play. If you have a book and they don't lock all your monster zones, you're going to use the book, you're going to get to Borland, and you're going to wipe their board, and that's usually game. So it's not the worst matchup as long as you get one of these cards. That is it for the main. In our extra deck, kind of mainline combo for Straker, Romulus, Pisty, Triple Burst, and the Borland. This I'll typically run into gate on turn 1. It's just a nice combo. It's your kind of key pieces. Borland is crazy. A lot of people aren't familiar with the card. It's can't be targeted by monster effects, as well as can't be destroyed by card or monster effects, and can't be destroyed by battle. It's a hard card to out, as well as just a 3,500 beater and a monster negate on top of all of that. It's a fantastic card, really kind of keeps you in the game. Additional link monsters, running the Spheres. Spheres is great, fantastic card as well. If you can't really get to your kind of main in board, it's not a bad thing to end on Spheres. Spheres Pass is really good. Dark Charmer is good, not as good as when there's more Bystials in the meta and you could take a Magma from the grave, but still great just for link climbing, as well as in a branded matchup, you usually have a pretty good target for it. IP is pretty good, kind of more of an extender if they break up your main combo, as well as if you just draw the perfect hand and you can go crazy, you can get the Borland, the IP, as well as the Savage all on board, and that is incredibly hard to push through for the opponent. And then Unicorn and Access Code. These are usually used in tandem. If I'm going to go into an Access Code, I'll just hop into Unicorn first to get that Link 3,000 attack on it, and Access Code goes crazy in this deck. Usually like a turn 3 or turn 4 in those situations where you just want to clear a board, just throw out Access Code and get to popping, because you're going to have a million links in grave at that point. Access Code goes crazy. Last link, Underworld Goddess. It's that one card that you don't need until you need. There's no other good way to deal with unaffected monsters, just towers that you can't really out. Underworld Goddess does it, and you'll love to see it.
He outed one of my monsters with that.
Yeah, this guy's still trying to play what are the Ignisters that put the unaffected Ignister on board. I had one way out of that game, and Underworld Goddess came in clutch. A couple XCs, Atomb and Wallow. Atomb was great if you have too many Bystials in hand, just gets you that special summon of any dragon monster from the deck. Gets you usually to your Rocket Engine if you want it, or the baby Chaos Dragons to keep going there. Fantastic card for there. Wallow doesn't come up too much. It's not often that you have 2 Bystials on board and you want either like the attack advantage or just kind of steal from their grave. This is probably the first one I would take out. This doesn't get made very often. Then last 2 are Synchros. Time card with Starlight, Red Dragon, Archfiend. Destroys every special summon monster. It hits the opponent for 500 each, so kind of need that time card, as well as it's a great nuke. If they have monsters up that you can't really deal with, all you can get to is the Archfiend. Rip that effect, clears the board, you can play from there. And then Savage, typically part of the main combo. You can get this up with Link 3 attached. That's going to be 3 turns of negates if you get that far, as well as gets the attack bonus as well. It's just hard to deal with for the opponent. Alright, that wraps up the extra deck. And then what we've got left is our side deck. So currently side deck, 3 in perm. So these are currently Cyclones. Definitely going to replace these with Twin Twisters. Twin Twister is really good into the Labyrinth, as well as helps deal with Flu a little bit. And then the Feather Duster. Speaking of Flu, this deck can't deal with it very well, so you desperately need as many ways to get out their trap set as possible. And Twin Twister is a good way to hit 2 at once. And then this deck doesn't mind discarding too much. You have a couple cards that have discard effects, so it's not too bad. It doesn't really hurt you too much. 3 of the Trip Attack, and then 3 Dimensional Barrier. I think a lot of people are starting to run Dimensional Barrier in the current meta. It hits Sword Soul, Branded, Kashtira all really hard. It's fantastic. And then the Spooky Dogwoods are key. Again, you don't like it when games go to time, but with a deck like this where you're doing a lot of kind of link combo plays, it kind of goes a little longer. You just kind of sometimes need that time card. And again, you don't really need it until that moment you need it, and then you're so glad you have it because it'll win you a game here and there. Yeah, that's about it. That's the deck. It's still feeling really good, even going into the current meta. The Kashtira matchup is not great if you don't have an out for it, but if you have an out, you're good to go. It's great in the Branded. Branded feels good. You can usually hit one of their, if they're trying to fuse with stuff in the grave, you can Bystial one of them out, put them at a disadvantage, as well as they'll have usually the Albion Fusion trying to end their turn with that in grave. You can Bystial that out, as well as the Cartesia. So it gives you a lot of ways to play around their stuff. So yeah, overall, deck's feeling nice. That's what we got. How was that?
Awesome. All right, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. And this is Mabel.